Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George, or all George. So welcome to another Market Open stream. Today, we are starting the day off with Bitcoin above $30,000. And that's not all. There are signs that show that Bitcoin may be heading to its previous high in September. So things are getting wild and exciting. So let's talk about what's going on today, what drove Bitcoin up, and what may drive it up even higher to 69,000 and beyond by September of this year. Let's do this. Welcome, 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 guys. The market bell has just rung. And you can see right now, Bitcoin is at $30,179. Last night when I was streaming, we were a little bit below. We shot up to about 30,400. Then we kind of just like went sideways. But that's okay. That's okay. We are above this dreaded 28.8 mark that I've been telling you guys about. It's just a matter of time before we break it. Just like a matter of time, we broke 24,200, right? It took a long time to do so. We have broken this, and now next stop is 31,000, I believe 31,600, but that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning, right? If you're looking at the greed index, yes, we are now in greed. Not very greedy, but greed, 68. And just look at the flip. From last month, we were still in fear level, 33. This is why you don't ever want to give up on Bitcoin or crypto, because things can change very rapidly from one month to another, or even from 1 week to another week. Things can change. The sentiment can change very quickly, but you guys know, for me, my sentiment is bullish, very bullish. Has always been the case. And I've been called out for it. George, you're too bullish. No, if you truly understand what Bitcoin is all about, you would be just as bullish as I am. So you could see on CNBC headline news, tops 30,000 for the first time since June of 2022. Okay, almost a full year. And you know what? We got some key economic data that's going to come out later this week that may drive Bitcoin even higher. For example, tomorrow we have a key CPI inflation reading. Also on Friday, we have some more economic data about how good or not so good the U.S. economy is, right? People are still wondering about what Powell is going to do, but it's clear what Bitcoin is doing. It's clear what the people are doing. They are buying in. And not only that, the big institutions like BlackRock and Fidelity, they are FOMOing in as well. So, absolutely fantastic, guys. Look at the year-to-date performance, okay? Where's everything at? I mean, silver went up about 4%, respectable. Gold went up about 10%, respectable. But you know what? You know what's better than respectable? Outrageous. And that is Bitcoin at plus 82% since the beginning of the year. People that have told you, watch out for another low of 10,000 or 13,000, well, you could thank them for not making 82% since the beginning of the year, right? Nothing outperforms Bitcoin when it starts moving. Nothing can outperform Bitcoin. It's just that simple. That's why I call it the best hedge against inflation. And people may argue against that. Well, what are you talking about? We're still lower than 69,000, right? We're still lower. Yes. When you look at Bitcoin on a shorter time scale, yes, you expand out to last 12 years or to last 5 years. I mean, just really nothing that compares. And it will be the same thing as you stretch it out another 10 years from now, another 20 years from now. Nothing will come close to performance of Bitcoin. In fact, if Bitcoin was a company, it would be the 11th largest company on the planet. It's right neck and neck with Tesla. I know a lot of you guys love Tesla. But, you know, the goal is to not beat Tesla and not beat Berkshire and Amazon and all these guys. No. The goal is to beat gold. Okay? Gold is sitting at a 13.3 trillion market cap. Okay? That means Bitcoin needs to be at around 700,000 each. 700,000 each to equal the market cap of gold. Just think about it for a second. 700,000 each. So probably not going to happen this cycle. But can it happen the next cycle? Or the one after that? It's just a matter of when, not if. Bitcoin will become more valuable than gold one day. So look forward to that. $700,000 at least per Bitcoin. But according to many, like Michael Saylor and Mike Novogratz and Tim Draper and Cathie Wood and everyone else that truly believes, they believe that's just the beginning. Bitcoin will be worth over $1 million and will be worth millions each as more people FOMO in, right? But that's the goal. That's the short-term goal. That's not even long-term. Short-term goal, outperform gold and break gold's market cap. Long-term goal, become the world's currency, the world's reserve currency, which one day may happen. Because what better currency to adopt than Bitcoin, right? There's really nothing better. Yesterday, I did cover about liquidations. 87% liquidations were based on the short side. I mean, you can see right here, no one really cares about shorts getting liquidated, right? No one likes shorters. A lot of shorts yesterday obviously helped contribute to the pump. And as Bitcoin gets higher, more and more shorts. There are still some people that have massive short positions. I just don't quite get it. There's so many people that I guess they're so underneath water, they can't get themselves up. They have no choice but to try to ride it out because they're already all in. You know, if Bitcoin heads higher, breaks through the 30s, heads to 40s, I mean, you're going to see some really wrecked bears out there. They will lose their entire net worth, entire fortunes due to this massive run up. That's the thing. You know, when you're shorting, there's no limit. Bitcoin could go up infinitely, right? It's so dangerous to be shorting. I don't quite get it. But here's where we may be heading. Some people are charting, of course. I think the next logical step is about 31.6, right? It makes sense. That was a previous resistance. But, you know, beyond that, we could be heading to 34,000, right? This is using basically a wave pattern to predict where Bitcoin is going to go. Short term, 34,000. You know, some people have predicted around 50,000 by June or July. We're still like 2-3 months off from there. Can we actually hit 50,000 in another 3 months? I wouldn't say no. Maybe it's a smaller chance, but it could still happen. Nothing is stopping Bitcoin at this point. And of course, this is where the Bitcoin market or the bull market starts, right? Usually, generally off the bottom. And I've said that before, right? People don't want to believe it. People want to just think about the craziness that happens after a halving event. But generally speaking, bull market starts before that. It starts after you start recovering from bottom because now you're starting the new cycle. That means the previous cycle is over, right? And yeah, we have certainly started since mid-January or end of January. That's when we started, right? I showed this yesterday, but I'm going to show it again. But TechDev, you know, is correlating the MACD on the monthly scale with the Chinese 10-year bond, with the DXY, and all signs point to a pretty good run. We are set. We are set Can we go 700% like last time? Sure. Maybe we don't. Maybe we go 500%, 400%. I don't think anyone's going to complain if Bitcoin does a 5x instead of a 7x. Okay. But yeah, this is what we have to look forward to right now. And there's one other guy. I'm not familiar with him, but he's predicting that Bitcoin will be at an all-time high, or at least previous high, right, and possibly break through by September of this year. Imagine that. If we do hit 50,000 by July, is it unreasonable to think we could go up another 20,000 by September? No, but I would think that if we go up so fast, we may come down a little bit. But according to this person, he put Metcalf, which is basically measuring the value of a network. As it increases and grows, I mean, its value has to go up, right? Plus the mempool of the miners. He put some kind of equation together, and you could see it's pretty darn accurate in terms of predicting the tops. It predicted the top of 2017, right? Even though 2017, a little bit more FOMO caused the price to go up higher. But you could see, yeah, it predicted the top of 2017. It predicted the top of 2021, at least the first one up to 64,000, right? And you could see that dotted line there is pointing very upwards in September. Are we going to see 70,000 Bitcoin by September? If so, I mean, it's Lambo time for everyone. That would be absolutely insane if we could break through all-time high even this year, before the next halving event, which is coming in April of 2024. That would be absolute wild madness. But you know what? I wouldn't put it past Bitcoin. I mean, all the metrics, the hash rate, all-time high. Number of addresses holding at least 0.1 Bitcoin, all-time high. Addresses holding 1 Bitcoin, all-time high. I mean, when you have such great fundamentals, can't put past any price, really. Can it hit 70,000 by September? Sure. Can it hit $1 million in 90 days? Sure. Lower chances, yes, but you know what? Can it happen? Sure. I mean, here, this is Ethereum. This is not even Bitcoin, but the Ethereum addresses keep going up too, closing in at 100 million addresses, right? Everything is moving upwards. And let's not forget tomorrow, I don't see a lot of news reports about this, but tomorrow is the big upgrade for Ethereum. Tomorrow is absolutely huge for Ethereum. The Shanghai upgrade will commence. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe it takes a day or so. And then unstaking will be available. Okay? So that's absolutely huge too. So you got the two biggest that's just skyrocketing right now. Fundamentals have never been better. Doing this fantastic while macro conditions are still weak. Banks are still weak. And that's what we want to see. And for those of you guys that are Shib fans, Shib's Metaverse will partially open by the end of 2023. So if you're looking for a Metaverse play, this may be it. But there's a lot of stuff happening in the gaming NFT world right now. Okay, there's just so much happening. So it's not just Shib. Okay. By the way, I do have a Spaces tonight. It's at 6:30 p.m. before my night stream. So make sure all of you guys tune in. It'll be my very first Spaces. We will have a good old time, and we'll go from there. So make sure you don't miss it. All right. Let's do some Q&A. $6 p.m. Central Standard Time. That poster is actually wrong. I have to update it. 6:30 Central Standard Time. So 2 hours before my night stream. All right, let's do some Q&A. Let's bring this up. Let's see where the U.S. market is today. U.S. market, NASDAQ is still weak, but I'll bet you Coinbase is up. That's good. A little bit. Let's see, like someone like Mara, MicroStrategy. Mara is up a little bit, and then where's MicroStrategy? I actually expected them to go up a lot more. MicroStrategy up a good amount. MicroStrategy stock has been absolutely killing it. I mean, it makes sense, right? Michael Saylor is also in profit again. So, yeah, power of DCA. All right, scrolling down. The moon eclipse. Is there a full moon coming up? Let's see. We just went through the vernal equinox, and traditionally speaking, that's very good. So we just had a full moon moment right here. I don't know. We're a little bit past that full moon, but look at this one right here. Full moon, boom. Now full moons are bringing pumps, which is, look at this. Here's one. Full moon pumps. When is the next full moon? The next one's going to drive us higher. Sustainable crypto. In this run, would you add Bitcoin? If so, just steady accumulation regardless of price. Yes. That's the point of DCA. It's like, unless you think we have topped out 30,000, then of course you stop DCAing. But if you think this is just the beginning and the top for Bitcoin is nowhere around 30,000, it may be 10x here at 300,000. Well, then the logical choice is to keep DCAing, right? For me, I think Bitcoin is going to be a lot higher by the end of this next cycle, right? But that's how I would look at it. Ever since Jim Cramer said last chance to sell Bitcoin, it has skyrocketed. I mean, last night I called it out. I mean, like, seriously, if you do the exact inverse of what Cramer says, you will be a multimillionaire very fast. Like, every bank call, if you do the exact opposite, you would have done very well. And the same thing with Bitcoin. Every time he turns negative on Bitcoin and crypto, that's usually a bottom indicator, and we start going upwards. I wonder what Peter Schiff is saying, because Peter Schiff has been saying the same thing too, saying buy gold, you know, sell Bitcoin, buy gold. But, you know, you just can't, you can't, where's that chart here? You can't unsee this when you see this, you know. Look at the difference between Bitcoin and gold. Joe Lama says, George, I first bought Bitcoin at 55,000 in 2021, and through DCAing all last year, now I'm up 25%. Thanks for keeping us in the game. Thoughts on pivoting weekly buys to alt buys? Now, I mean, you could. It just depends on how your ratio. If you're the percentage of Bitcoin in your portfolio is now way past 50, and maybe you're at 60, 70, 80, right? Getting some alts wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't think this Bitcoin strength is going away anytime soon. I think the strength is going to be here for a while. But congratulations, though. That's the power of DCA. Would you recommend, Johnny, exchange your alts for Bitcoin? If you have some real losers right now, then you may want to think about it, because Bitcoin, like I just got done saying, I don't think Bitcoin's strength is going away, right? But I don't think you should go all in on Bitcoin. You never know when the money flows into the alts. They happen. Bitcoin may take a breather at some point, and then the money flows into alts, right? So still be diversified, but if you're too heavy into alts, especially ones that have not moved for a long time, you may want to think about reallocating. Mike, I recently had to move a bunch of crypto to KuCoin because of exchange leaving the US. So I transferred to KuCoin until I can move. I think you should definitely move out of KuCoin, man. KuCoin is being sued right now by the state of New York for not having proper KYC. So you should definitely move them off ASAP. Because KuCoin will probably close its doors to the US soon. How does Jim Cramer still have a job? I don't know, because he's very entertaining. Once Jim Cramer retires, I don't know who's going to be replacing him. Because there's just no one else like him out there. Thoughts on 3 altcoins? Like right now, altcoins are not doing that well. Okay, very hard to outperform Bitcoin at this moment, because Bitcoin is just so damn strong, right? But I will say this: don't give up on Bitcoin. I don't know why this just reset again. Don't give up on alts, because strength will come back to them. And recently, I've been telling you guys. Recently, I've been talking to a lot of projects, right? There's a couple trends that I'm noticing. L1s, L2s are going to continue to be very hot. The newest L2 right now, the newest kid on the block is ZK Sync, okay? Arbitrum is already huge. Optimum is huge. Polygon, Phantom, they're pretty big, right? But the newest player in town is ZK Sync. And there's a lot of things being developed right now, a lot of DeFi projects that are still very undervalued. So I think a trend would be to look at what's on ZK Sync, right? And pay attention, because those could be getting as big as some of the other DeFi projects that are equivalent on Arbitrum or Optimism or Polygon. That's trend number 1. Trend number 2 is there are a lot of really good projects that's building within Cosmos right now. Like, of all the projects, all the chains right now, I see and talk to a few in Cosmos that are very, very, very positive. Yeah. And they don't even have a coin out yet. They're just like pre-coin, and that's the thing. So I think there are going to be a lot of stuff happening with Cosmos, a lot of stuff happening with ZK Sync, right? But you know, a lot of goodness still coming out of this space. Vet, Chili's, and Gala, who will pass all-time high? Cheeto Fit, all of them will. I think all of them are great. I think all of them will. You need to replace Kramer. I would love to do that. I'm not knowledgeable enough for stocks, but I could certainly do a show like that with crypto, which I already do. And I'm going to do more shows. I'm going to start probably doing more spaces. Also going to do another show where I'll co-host it with Brian Evans, and we'll bring on a new project to have the project pitch us, and then we can ask them some difficult questions. Another way to discover these new gems, these new projects that may or may not be good. So that's coming up probably next week, and I have other ideas too. NMCT is a perfect storm for Bitcoin, higher inflation, possible direct currency, economic wars, less belief in yes. I'll just say yes to all of those things. That sounds about right. I briefly looked at Quorum. Yeah, it is in Cosmos, but I don't know too much about them yet. But even the ones that's within Cosmos, like Injective right now, they're doing very well. But there's others that are coming up, I think, will be even better. I should team up with me, Kevin. I mean, I have before. You know, to be honest, after our first interview, because I was still quite small, and then as I get bigger, we're going to do something together. But Kevin is all over the place. I actually have his number. You know, like sometimes before when I text him, he wouldn't text me back for like 2 weeks. You know, I'm like, okay, you're just not interested. And then he started flaking out on crypto when things got weak, and so I don't know. You know, I wouldn't mind doing some collab with him again, but you know, he's not a crypto purist, right? He's just more like everything. Thoughts on Walmart with 2 million employees automating 65% of their stores? Is the Fed accounting this technology shift? No, Fed doesn't account any of this nonsense. Well, I shouldn't call this nonsense. I mean, I meant to call the Fed nonsense because Powell does, you know, as much as he likes to brag about he has so many tools in his arsenal, there's really not. It's either to buy junk bonds and buy, you know, basically bonds of companies, or to cut rates, right? And then you could do the reverse: sell those bonds or cut rates. So I mean, that's it. There's no other arsenal for the Fed, right? Besides bailouts. If they need to declare some emergency and bail out of banks, they could do that. But they don't count for tech. They don't count for anything else, right? Tech is supposed to make things deflationary. It's supposed to make things cheaper, right? Over time, but still hasn't worked out according to plan so far. Looks like we might get another little push. Sam, why not, man? Why not? I told you guys I met Ben while filming the next Crypto Gem. We had dinner, had good talks, right? I know he has a huge deal with Stake. It has to be huge. He was telling me it was huge, but you know, recently I've been watching a show. It's like nonstop Stake stuff, so I'm curious about that deal. But you know, Ben, you know, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He helped my channel a lot in 2021. I know he's very controversial. He seems to welcome attention, but you know, I don't mind doing collab with him. Am I an introvert? Yes. I think so. I think so. No, I don't plan on doing a deal with Stake. Unless they're giving me like 10 figures or 9 figures or something. No. What do you expect from CPI? You know what? I think CPI should be like steady. I don't know if we're going to go down, but I think we may just come like we just may go sideways or slightly down. We're at 6% in the US, right? Maybe we go to like 5.9, 5.8. I think we'll still go down a little bit, but it won't be the same kind of dip like last time. We went down 0.4% the previous month. So I think we're still going to go ahead down a little bit. Eds 808. How do you get a sense of the market and the industry? How much of what you do is completely physically isolated? I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with physically isolated. Where I live, I'm the only one involved with crypto. That's okay, Eds. The best way to think about it is, if you approach people that are curious, that really want to learn, educate. Right? For everyone else out there, it's not your duty to educate them, especially when they don't seek it or they don't welcome it. There's a lot of people that I've met, especially people in the car industry, which frustrates me. Right? I ask them, hey, do you guys invest? Do you guys know anything about Bitcoin? The conversation is like, no, the end. Right? I could tell. Like, they have no interest in hearing about it. Well, I'm not going to share. I'm not going to share, right? I'm not going to share the gospel of Bitcoin to people that really are uninterested, and if they want to be locked to their 9-to-5 job, well, that's on them. But for everyone else that are interested and want to hear more, learn about more, a lot of the people that I met while filming the next crypto gem, they were not crypto people, but a few asked me about it. You could tell they were curious. Those people are the ones that you need to educate. For everyone else, it's not your duty. Just know that you understand you're going to be ahead of the game. When you're driving your Lambos, they will still be working their 9-to-5 job. It's just that simple. Should we get Lambos or Teslas? Depends. Depends on if you're a car enthusiast. If you are a car enthusiast, then you definitely want to get a Lambo. You get anything that has a combustible engine. EV cars are no fun. Okay, they're just not. I don't care what guys say. They're pretending. They're not true car guys. Anyone that tells you an EV car is more fun than an ICE car is not a car guy. Okay, that's a clear red flag. And people that argue, no, my Tesla's so fun. It's the funnest car ever. They're lying to you because they have not driven anything else. Trust me, I know. I have a Tesla. I have the fastest Tesla there is. Well, the second fastest Tesla, okay? It's no fun. It's no fun at all. So, yes, that should help answer your question. Now, in terms of stock, that's a different story. The only car manufacturer stock I would hold is Tesla. No one else, because Tesla's profit margin and growth is ridiculous, and no one else is even close. Tesla has a 40% market margin on their cars. 40%. Ford, who's the number 2 EV manufacturer in the U.S., they lost $1 billion last year by trying to sell their Mach-E's and Lightnings. They sold their EVs at a loss, while Tesla earns 40% on each car they produce. That's wild, right? So from an investment standpoint, you go with Tesla, not Ford, not Toyota, not VW. They will make you no money. Tesla will. But as for a car that'll make you feel alive, won't be a Tesla. Stephen Young said, dude, I went to a Super Bowl party and asked, is anyone in crypto? Everyone said no. That's how I know we're early. I mean, yes. Yes, that is true. Do I have any Tesla? I have some Tesla options. I do. MicroStrategy is doing really well today. No surprise. Tesla is... How come we can't find Tesla? Tesla's barely up today. Coinbase now skyrocketing. Ooh, 8%. That's what I like to see. MicroStrategy is already up. What about Mara? Mara is up 8-something%. That's what I like to see. Wall Street can't contain Bitcoin anymore. You know, for the longest time, they were shorting the miners like Mara and HUD, you know, shorting MicroStrategy, shorting Coinbase. But now it's like you can't contain them. When Bitcoin is rallying above 30,000 and everything's going up, you can't hold these guys back. Nice to see people get excited about crypto again. That is true. What does Cardano need to get excitement back? I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in Cardano. It's just, you know, I don't know. Cardano has a robust NFT ecosystem. Maybe they need to have a fun game or something like that, or something else. They need more DeFi, to be honest. Cardano's TVL is very low, very, very low. It seems like people haven't figured out how to quite run AMMs on Cardano. There's a few plays, interoperability plays. I mean, they got their stable coin, right? It's just a matter of growing out their DeFi ecosystem and, I don't know, maybe get some degen stuff on there. Maybe get some meme coins on there to get things kick-started. Bull market before or after elections? I don't know. I don't know. It could happen before and after. Enzo or LaFerrari? Enzo's still like such a unique looking car. I would take either one. Obviously, LaFerrari is going to be much faster, but now you have like the SF90, which is basically as fast as the LaFerrari. It's amazing every 10 years how cars keep getting faster and faster and faster. But I hate the fact that everyone's moving to hybrid or EV, right? Yes, you can make a car faster, but no, it doesn't feel the same, and no, it doesn't sound the same. But that's how it is. What makes a car fun? You know what? I just got done reviewing even something simple, like a Toyota GR86, okay? You got a 6-speed manual, great. You have a nice sounding exhaust, great. And this is for a 4-banger. You have a natural aspirated, high-revving, 228 horsepower, 7,500 RPM, right? You put all three together in a good-looking sports coupe that sits low to the ground, that's like on rails. That's fun. That's fun, okay? That car being at $35,000 is much funner to drive than my $130,000 Model X Plaid. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the price. Sometimes it's just the way the car is built, right? So that's how I see it. If you're a car enthusiast and you like cars and you like driving, like actual driving, that GR86 will beat out probably like 90% of the cars out there, regardless of price. But of course, there's better cars, there's faster cars, more expensive cars, but it really has nothing to do with the price tag. Do you think compound finance will hit all-time high again? It will, but the competition is much fiercer for like guys like Compound and Aave. But it will. It will again. Can I review the Supra? I did, but I drove the automatic. I need to drive the manual. I'm going to get a Corolla GR. I've never driven that before. That should be a fun car. 300 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and others. All right, guys, let's conclude. Overall, Bitcoin is above $30,000. Excitement is back. Bitcoin is on a roll and could be heading to $70,000 by September. Okay, so get ready for that. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But before that, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be having my very first Twitter Spaces, so make sure you guys go check it out and set a reminder right now. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.